Yes. All right, we're gonna wait for there, and then we're gonna go into site review and nominating committee, and then we'll get down to business.
All right,
so we're gonna go into site review committee representative nominees. So, Brandon, where are you? Do you want to explain what the SRC does, or what the long committee will do?
Yes.
Great.
So,
in an abbreviated version.
Right. The SRC is essentially like we're going over the reports that you said last month that we're doing the bi-weekly, right? So we're going to consolidate all the reports within a quarter, and then the people are represented. We're going to have 2 representatives from the Senate, and then Finance Board has 2, and the Executive Board has theirs, and then we're all going to come together and evaluate the reports that we that everyone sends in and be like, hey, do they deserve a full stipend or so.
Yes. So what we need to do is I need 2 nominees to do that. Brandon, can you give us all the dates of those meetings, please? Whoever nominates or whoever wants to be in and nominates themselves, just make sure you can make these dates.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the meetings are October 7th, December 2nd, March 10th, and May 5th. They're all.
Well, we only need the first quarter.
Oh yeah, you're right. They're all on Sunday.
Okay, so October 7th and December 2nd.
What time on Sunday? Or is that not decided yet? And then,
all right.
So
7th and December 2nd. So do I have 2 senators who want to be a part of this committee? If so, please raise your hand. Great. Okay. Does anybody in the Senate oppose Miriam Jordan being on the SGA committee?
This is SRC.
Yes. Not you. You're next.
no objections.
All right. So unanimous vote. Miriam Jordan, congrats.
Oh.
Wait.
What?
Did they serve last semester?
No.
No, I'm just asking.
It's within a year, right?
No,
It says
semester.
And I don't think either one of us, I don't remember your
Well,
face.
does it reset every year?
Yeah.
No.
Does not.
It was.
Wait.
Technically, no.
Did you guys serve?
No, we went over it.
Okay.
Okay, just checking.
They're fine. Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you guys.
Felix is there.
Thanks for checking.
Who's Felix?
Yeah, I think so. All right. So next business, Colin. You want to talk about the nominating committee and what you're looking for?
Okay. So the nominating committee is a group of 2 senators, 2 finance board representatives, and myself. We are tasked with coming up with the nominations to come back to Senate and Finance Board for the 2 representatives that will be on the appeals board. So the appeals board is made up of 5 members, 2 members from SGA that get confirmed the joint legislation, 3 members from student conduct. And they see any shenanigans that go on and have to go through that process. So that's the first responsibility of the nominating committee, and then the second is to determine the election board chair. And once we determine the election board chair then becomes a member of the nominating committee, and then we all find the other 6 members of the election board. So it's a fun time. We don't have any dates set yet because I'm waiting to figure out who the membership of the nominating committee is, and then I'll send out like a doodle poll. So I have the 2 members of Finance Board from nominating committee, I'll need the 2 members of the Senate. This is an obligation that once we figure out who, so I already have an election board chair nominee and 2 members for the appeals board nominee, so it has to get confirmed by the nominating committee, and then we need to identify the other election board members. But this whole process should be done by October, I believe. So this really isn't a very long commitment.
Do you need to do that?
Yes.
Great. Can I have 2 volunteers to sit on that? Great. All right. So, Kai, Colin, do you need me to put you in contact with both of them, or are you good? Great. All right. So that's that. All right. So again, moving on. New business. Attendance policy. So If you guys ever want to find any of these documents, they're hyperlinked, but they're also all in the SGA drive.
Has everyone been able to access that?
Is anybody not? Okay, great. So, I don't think anybody can read that. Wow. Great. So the attendance policy hasn't changed much from last year. So just understanding that some of this comes from the procedural rules and some of this comes from the speaker, me. And so excused absences that you're anticipating, they should be emailed to me before 5 o'clock on that excused date. So if your mom calls you and says somebody's in the hospital, that's different. But if you know that things are happening or that you're not going to be able to be here for one of these reasons. So a non-recurring academic program, sometimes people have field trips. If you can somehow just forward me like an email or something, just letting me know, or if it's in your syllabus, just show it to me. Medical or family emergencies, of course, if somebody's in the hospital or like you're in the hospital, that's not going to be held against you. Personal illness, if you're sick, please don't come to Senate, like seriously, because then we all get sick. Candace has children, please don't affect them. Or religious or spiritual holidays. So all 4 of these things should be emailed to me. These are like 100%. They will be covered. I do just ask that to try to not like abuse them, of course. If you have family in the hospital, talk to me or Candace or Brandon. That way we're aware of that. But of course, if you're telling me that like people are always in the hospital and you have a Senate meeting, then we have to talk. Just to see if there's something bigger happening. There's an asterisk though. Any other absence not listed may be considered excused as part of the speaker. So if you have something that your action will be excused, please talk to me in advance. That way I can tell you whether or not that will be excused. So the procedural rule says that 2 unexcused absences from Senate meetings within the same year will result in removal from the Senate. So an unexcused absence from a Senate meeting is defined as if you come in after gavel in, which is at 5:30, or if you're not here for gavel out, whenever Senate ends. So just be aware of that. And of course, if you get an unexcused absence, you'll receive an email from me telling you that you did and what date it was. That way you can keep track of them as well. Other than that, so, yes, go.
Same year, would that be the same year as a calendar year or school year?
Same like school year of your term. Yeah. That's okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, so if you're late, that means that you have to unexcuse absence.
Yes. Yeah, so I advise everybody to get food before or try to get food after. Like if you haven't eaten all day, just like come talk to me or Brandon and like we might be able to excuse you for a few minutes of the first few meetings. Just like we need that to be known. I'm not trying to starve anybody out, but I also can't help if you walk in at like 5:45. So cool. I guess another thing to talk about are on the issue of like attendance policies. Please be engaged in the meetings. I know we talked about this at the retreat. But as far as electronics go, we're going to do no laptops except for the assistant speaker, the speaker, Candace, and any commission members, and like outside bodies. So if you're a senator, I ask that your phones and laptops are put away, unless there's an emergency that you've spoken to me about before, just so that people aren't checking out and people are as engaged as possible. And so we don't have to like publicly be like, hey, please get off your laptop, because that's not fun. So, does anybody have questions? Are we good to move on? Great. Okay.
Is tardiness like explicitly noted in the attendance policy?
Huh?
Is tardiness explicitly noted in the attendance policy?
I believe it's in the procedural rules. So that's why it states over with the procedural rules. What? It is. Oh yeah, it is. Sorry, I'm saying it is. Yes. This is just the biggest one that people need to get. Questions? Great. Brandon? No. All right. Legislation time. Your first taste of it. Go ahead.
Just people can like everyone go around and introduce themselves? Or?
Of course. Yeah. Sure. All right. So who wants to start?
I'll start. My name is Mario Balotoga. I'm a physics
physics major. I'm a senator, and welcome.
Stuff you
Oh,
can.
fun fact. Are we doing? Sorry, I'm so sorry. My bad. I joined SGA last semester.
What?
Real
I would
quick.
just suggest fun facts and then that figure.
Tell me your favorite cereal.
Okay, go.
I want to know everybody's favorite cereal.
My favorite cereal?
Yes. That's the fun fact.
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Ooh.
Yummy.
I like the one on there. Some of that Cheerios are fishy.
Wow.
I'm Scott Buchanan, I'm a finance board representative. That's why I passed it. My fun fact is that I work in SABSC.
What's your cereal?
What's your cereal?
Oh, my cereal?
Yeah.
Come on.
Raisin Bran.
What does SABSC stand for?
You can't mix it.
SGA is Student Affairs Business Service Center. It's where you go for payroll.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hi, my name is Jordan Shaw. I'm a computer science and math major. I'm a senator. And my favorite cereal is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. See?
My name is Liam Kim. I'm a political science, computer science, pre-med dual degree. And my favorite cereal is Honey Smiths because you can get salmonella from them, so I could potentially die but eat something that tastes good.
Just a pause.
On to the next.
That was a fun fact. Good fun fact, we know.
Very fun.
Hi, Daniel.
I'm Daniel. I'm an observer at the moment. My favorite cereal is.
You know who you are.
I'm not part of this, okay? What are you a part of? Alright, I'm currently the chair of the finance board.
There we go.
Alright. Favorite city across the place.
Hi, I'm Zane. I'm the Vice President of Student Organizations, and my favorite cereal is Cocoa Puffs.
I'm from and my favorite cereal. It's just regular Cheerios.
And you guys got me for Cheerios? Honey Nut Cheerios? Oh, that's what I thought.
No, we were being serious.
Hi, I'm Brenda. I'm a junior. I'm a math and bio double major. I'm the executive vice president. And my favorite cereal is probably Lucky Charms. But I get like the big bags of just the marshmallows. Yeah.
The charms.
The charms,
I am Candace Martinez-Stone, Assistant Director for Leadership and Governance, which is inclusive of SGA Advisor. And my favorite cereal is a tie between, they're completely gross, the Oreo cereal and the Reese's peanut butter cereal.
Oh, no.
They're disgusting, but I love them. I grew up in a much different time, my friends, when sugar intake was not something people thought about.
Hi, I'm Lily. I'm the speaker, and I'm a senior psychology major. So I don't really like cereal that much. But recently, so you take Honey Nut Cheerios, and you pour a little bit, and then you pour a little bit of Cinnamon Toast Crunch with it, with some really cold almond milk. I'm lactose intolerant, okay? Don't judge me.
No.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. But I eat cereal like twice a year, so.
Hello, I'm Kamani. I'm going to be one of 5 SCB representatives. Yay! Sorry. To give more in detail, I'm a designer for SCB and I'm a biological science major.
Okay.
Favorite cereal. Honey Bunches
Everyone's favorite cereals.
Everyone like that.
We're diverse.
My name is Reese. I applied to be in a fight. I'm a computer science and philosophy double major.
Okay.
And my favorite cereal is gotta be Captain Crunch Berries.
There you go.
Wait, what? Captain Crunch Berries. Captain Crunch with the berries. Yeah, the both of them. They're both.
Hi, I'm Keon. I'm a political science major. Oh, I'm a senator. Wow, words are difficult. Okay. And my favorite cereal is between like normal Captain Crunch and like Captain Crunch with the berries. It depends on what I'm feeling that day, but like Captain Crunch for the win.
Alright, I'm Jared, I'm a senator. I'm a comp sci major, and my favorite cereal is Fruity Pebbles.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jeff. I'm Patrick. I'm a political science major and public policy monitor. And I really like the Apple Jacks. I don't know if they sell them still. I haven't had them in like a long time. Those were really good.
Yeah, but it has those commercials though.
And
They're good cereals.
Kicks.
Hi. I'm Miles. I'm a history major. He's Asian history minor. My favorite cereal is Frosted Flakes.
Hi, my name is Robin Pablo. I'm a political science major, international politics, and French minor.
Okay.
I'm applying to be the secretary of the Senate. My favorite cereal is Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. My name is Brandon Moo. I am a senior bio animation delivery assistant speaker. And my favorite cereal, first of all, this is how you sign cereal. Okay, like this. Cereal.
Oh.
Cereal.
No matter what hand I go with?
No, dominant, whichever one just comes. It's like a hook. No, I don't. I actually really love Cheerios. Some plain Cheerios are cool.
There's a reason why y'all are separate.
Yeah, the reason why this is like.
Hello.
Yes.
It's a cultural thing.
Name.
My name is Kai. I'm one of the senators. I'm a psychology major. I'm a sophomore. My favorite cereal is Special K with the yogurt. That's my favorite.
Great. I feel extremely fulfilled right now, knowing everybody's cereal. If I can remember, maybe we'll get a box one day. I don't know. Alright, so we have a joint resolution to go over.
What's the difference?
Do you guys have preference whether or not I present it? Okay, great.
So we have a question.
What?
What's the difference between a resolution and legislation?
I don't actually know.
Legislation impacts another typically guiding document. A resolution is just a statement.
Yeah.
So I'm actually hoping that the Senate will pass a lot more resolutions this year because they carry a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So for example, the Senate could pass a resolution after working with a lot of campus administrators and having conversations like something along the lines of, actually I'll give you a real example instead of a fake one. 2 years ago, there was a resolution from the Senate that said by 2021, a certain percentage of food on campus would be locally sourced. And there was a Senate resolution that would hold Chartwell's accountable for doing it. And it actually got to be a part of their contract, that this percentage. So it's a statement of fact, or a statement of support. It's not impacting any guiding document, but it's something saying, like, we care about this and we want to make sure that happens.
Yes, I agree. I have not passed many of them in my time. has not been many of them, to be honest. So, but we have one now. Welcoming Candace, this beautiful, lovely human being, as our new advisor. So, I guess we can go over some legislation 101. So, this, I like the title, you know, it says joint resolution here, or it'll say joint legislation. Sometimes it'll say Senate legislation. So it's always abbreviated JR or JL. So this is joint resolution. This number right here is the document number, so it's 01. This is the first piece of legislation we have right now. Well, the joint resolution, it's our first resolution. And then 1819 is the year. So it'll always be in this format. Colin and Brenda wrote this. Congratulations. Thanks so much, guys. Yeah. Apparently, Daniel and I are sponsoring it. And so we're introducing it September 4th, because that was the date of the financial meeting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
do you have the paper for it?
Brenda has it. So, this is to welcome Candace. Should I read through it? Do I need to read through it?
Yes.
Okay. Great. So, whereas the Student Government Association recognizes the need for a full-time staff member to guide the organization and its members to be successful through advice and leadership, whereas members of the organization with other staff members in the Division of Student Affairs were deeply involved throughout the hiring process for the position of Assistant Director of Campus Life and Leadership and Governance. Let it be resolved that we, the 2018 to 2019 members of the SGA Senate and SGA Finance Board of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, welcome and entrust our fullest faith into our advisor, Ms. Candace Martinez-Doan. Be it further resolved that Ms. Martinez-Doan shall now assume all responsibility associated with SGA advisors, specifically, specified by the organization's guiding documents. So, there's not that much to it. It's just saying that we entrust Candace with our life.
But more importantly, it says that she's our advisor according to the guiding docs. So you guys pay us now.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And at this time, last year, when our advisor had left, we did drive student affairs and campus life to let us be involved in this process, and that was important to us. So, here we are. Do you have the paper? Yeah. So, how this is going to go is after we read through stuff, I then ask for any points of like confusion, conversation, anything you guys want to talk about before, and then we go into a vote. So, does anybody have any feelings or questions or anything? No.
So, a vote into what?
I was like, yeah.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, we have to vote on this.
Oh.
Because it's
yes.
Not just a friendly thing.
Right.
I moved for that resolution.
Hold on. So, hold on. I'm going to walk everybody through it so they can vote out. So whenever we're voting on legislation, anybody, you can say move to approve, senators move to approve, and then you'll say that number right here that we went over. So it'd be like move to approve JR 01-1819, and then somebody else other than yourself has to second that, and then we vote. So who wants to give it away? First, oh, okay, Mary, go ahead.
Move to approve 01-1819.
Second.
No.
Try again.
It's a learning environment. It's all good. Don't forget the JR.
We might have a legislation. So
I said JR.
I said O. You said O1.
Oh, move to approve JR 01-1819.
Seconded.
Great. All right. All senators for. Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Great. Any senators opposed? Any abstaining? Not present, 0. All right. So with that, this passes in the Senate. Okay, September 10th. All right. Brandon?
Cool. So, is it out there yet?
No, you get rid of it.
Oh, exciting.
Honestly, right?
So, is it up to you again?
Oh.
Now we're doing joint legislation. And what is this? So, this is essentially explaining all of the changes that we made to the SRC. And let me read it out loud. Whereas SGA desires to have greater flexibility regarding the intervals in which SGA stipends may be awarded and thereby issued. Whereas the current process for awarding quarterly stipends allows for the officer to receive a full stipend of 100% for the quarter or half, 50% of the full stipend for the quarter. And whereas Article 12.2.6 appealing the decisions of the committee must reflect best practices of the appeals board and the appeals process, let it be resolved that the SGA budgetary policy will be amended as set forth in Attachment A. Attachment A.
Can you give a little bit of background as to why you're presenting a position for this?
So when I explained, so we had a different SRC last 2 weeks. It was like if you did your job according to like everything you needed to do, we would give you your full stipend. If there were things missing, if you were dropping the ball, or if you never submitted an SRC, you would get half of your stipend. So we're changing that so that we're making it into a full 75% or 50% stipend award, so that we have more room to acclimate to like kind of feedback and things like that. We thought that the jump to 50% was especially sharp. The second part is the appealing the decisions of the committee. I'm going to go to Attachment A to explain this part. This all is changes to the 175.50 that I just explained. And then we changed some wording to better reflect the actual process. It used to be like 5 p.m. on the penultimate Wednesday of each quarter for a specific quarter. And we're like, that's weird. Let's change it. And so we changed it to something more flexible, like this. And I'm going to uncapitalize this here. Which is just like a date decided by SGA, Campus Life, and the Student Affairs with Services Center. Fantastic. Yeah, this part is the 75% that we're adding to it, along with the 100% and the 50%, and then changing the language. Here, we changed it from half stipend to anything less than the full amount to reflect the change that we made, and changing the language of how the appeals is processed, which is in the SRC calendar, and you'll see that process there. If you go to the shared document, SRC information, and then the calendar, you can find the dates and what each meeting. Yeah. And that's okay.
Great. So who has questions? Normally we won't be like as in depth about going through the legislation. We won't go through the attachments, but what questions do you guys have?
Was the part that specifies the 75%?
3/4 of the full stipend.
Okay. Good question.
Can you throw back up the legislation? Thank you. Anybody else have questions, comments? No? Okay.
Which you have joint legislation 01 for the year 1892.
All right, I'll start your report. All right, senators opposed, abstaining, not present, 0. All right, this motion passes. Great.
So with the changes to the SSU, like I said before, if anything jumps out at you that's like, oh, this is kind of weird, I don't really like doing this, or I'd rather do something different, like please like take a note of that, or like let me know somehow, and then we want to incorporate all the feedback that you give like along this semester during winter break, so that next semester in the spring can think about it.
good with that? Okay, that's all like the hard business that we have to do. So we're nearing the end of our meeting. How's our meeting? Do we need a quick bathroom break or are we good? You guys? Yeah, you guys can feel free to leave. Alright, can everybody be back by 6:55, please? At the absolute latest. I'm starting with Patrick's 9.
I love that. Leo and Kai. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm on
Really?
You're in the office.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're all like that.
Oh, geez.
They're all like going into the office more often.
Where's the office? Okay, I should probably get
It's
that.
like the top right.
Okay.
Jordan, when you wear that one picture, that was like, I forget that one. You said it's like your question or something.
Okay. No, someone gave me a shirt. You get another shirt in there. That's what I need. It's not. I already have one.
You never wore that one?
Yeah.
But that's for the appeals board, that's not.
Oh,
yeah.
Printing up.
like a.
That's a lot to ask. I'd rather organize it. Do it out. Plus you have like 2 weeks.
Does anyone have like what?
Right now.
No, just for future reference. Yeah, that's for Yes. Oh, so when you get the wasabi, just put it all on. We should do. Yeah, some extra wasabi, but it should be one part wasabi and one part barbecue. What? Oh yeah, we gotta figure that out. Third age. Hell yeah. Are y'all going to the Renaissance Fair?
I'm
going, but not to be honest.
That's yours.
Yeah,
That's yours. I got the same one.
What about the honor party?
Do you know what the princess
I was
bride?
It's not my favorite. I'm not going to be honest. It's more like the price of the ticket. Well, no, like undervalued as such as I would, right? For reasons that I can't mention in front of people. I can't go with people who know my age.
Yeah, it's like me, it's fine.
That would include the staff members of the why? There's no particular reason was mentioned. I've never gone to the I was definitely worth going. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm probably going to find another day. If you are going on the honor,
I know the rules
What's the free aquarium there? I went through all the free aquarium.
Siri.
We'll just take.
No, it's just naked right now. So I gotta go.
You'll only need like one whereas clause.
Mine is awful. This is strong.
I would have liked to look through
I had a conversation
support.
with Nancy today, and she wants.
I would like to take the work. I wasn't really. Audio blood under
You have access to it? I would good at the. You want to try some wine? On the future, we're pretty good.
I'd like to fight for resolution to
Oh, I should.
Great.
You got one. I like carrots, whatever we're gonna call it.
Alright, Brandon, you want to go to
Oh, really?
On Monday to make sure.
Alright. Hi. Welcome back. Alright, so those of you that are not in the body, feel free to still do this. I just don't have a piece of paper for you.
I do. Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I don't have a printed piece of paper, but you can also feel free to do this. Not. Alright, so there's 8 here. I'm not taking one. But, so, those of you that are returning to the body, you've seen this a little bit before. That one's mine. This is just like an up version. So this kind of goes back to when we talked about a retreat. So we're going to do group initiatives. Okay.
Yeah.
So last year we did an activity where we talked about kind of like brainstorming where SGA is in 5 years, 10 years, where it is next year. Changing this a little bit. We're doing group initiatives this year. We're going to try to do 2. But in order to really kind of drill down on what is wrong or what is good at UBC, we're just going to do like a brainstorming activity, really about like 7-10 minutes, depending on how fast people finish, of when UBC is good for you and when it's bad for you. That way, and then next meeting, I need to bring this back with you because we're going to go through together as a group and like write on the board all of the things and find the commonalities, and then like boil down an issue from there. So feel free to work on that. Other folks, it's things like when was UBC good or bad for you in regards to athletics or dining, student involvement, what? Yeah.
No.
When would you be the best in history universities?
You like conversation starters.
Whoa.
Well, that's why our next meeting we'll bond about it.
I'm looking at the things that are like bracket or category.
I mean, it can, okay. I mean,
Like, oh, the gym's small, but like, what can you really do?
I mean, that's realistic. I mean,
Tear it out.
that's like common. You can write it, doesn't mean we'll work on it. You can write it.
I'm like a great shower.
But they're talking about opening up the hybrid on the top, so that would help alleviate some of the stress.
Oh, God.
No, they were supposed to that last class. They're not doing it.
They're not gonna do it?
I don't want to talk about track right now.
Alright, so I just start our second year presentation.
Did you write me?
sweet thing for someone.
Stop, Brenda needs water. I don't need water.
Wait, where SGB right there? Just
Now what that
That is long, the longest amount of time I've seen. Oh, I think we're on the last one.
Well, actually, so like, oh my god.
No, they're terrible.
What's terrible?
So you building operational.
I'm working on that. That's gonna look at the
Everywhere.
Oh,
They don't
I thought you were talking about operation hours of the rack. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that's what
try.
wait, why?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like, what comes in
And they open it like 9, 10. Okay.
Yeah, they open at 7.
Not like having. I just that's something I get every year.
No, yeah, they're open at 7. Hours is not right.
I just math on that major.
Exactly.
No, Daniel, literally, they haven't paid me for 2 months of February until May. And they're like, oh, you must read your timesheet, you have to come to the event center. So I go to the event center, and she's like, okay, you have to set an appointment. And I was like, no, I'm a lifeguard at the rack. And I'm just like, where is my
That sounds like a poli-sci.
I haven't been paid since February.
This is America.
April, May.
Like, this is America. You have a
You need money to sue. I don't have the money. I guess
it's
Alright, 5 more minutes. If you guys haven't done.
Did you take it yet?
I got a 167.
Hey, Fran,
Retake it. You could easily get 180.
I just write my name and circle random circles. And I get a 180.
He's such an instigator.
We love him.
Alright, I want to make sure everybody's on task because we need to talk about this next meeting. So, let's get this done. Plus, it's actually important.
Not saying the quality, but.
Then why do it now?
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be like, you want to, as you go through the next week, if you think there's things about it or not. It's a thought thing. Come on. You know, if I do this, everybody is over. So that's why we're doing the meeting. Yeah, Kai would do it. Yeah. I think out of everybody, Kai would do it. Jordan, maybe. Jordan, if your life wasn't like, if your week wasn't like hell, you would do it, but then you'd be like, but things got really hard. I'd be like, great.
I feel like I could do it, but it'd be like staying outside the room at like 5:28 finishing it. That's my diamond song.
Working collaboratively.
That's a life motto. All of these truths and stuff you have on there. You know what I'm
Really?
Yeah,
It's great.
Put in the worst.
Scared off.
He texted me last night after a week of ignoring me.
Why was in front of the rack?
That's true.
This is a pretty quick one.
Oh, we're people.
Yeah, it's on.
Just make it
It's a small thing. I mean, it's not like. It's not a small thing. It's a big thing.
I'm trying to say without it.
All right, one more minute, or 30 seconds. I don't know what that clock's at. Well, it could be 20 seconds to 7:05.
Yeah, like the rest of the year.
What was that newspaper thing you called?
The retreatment?
No, the ones where that's like New York Times and all that.
Oh, the collegiate readership something.
All right, program. All right, so we're not going to do a big shout out, but I do want everybody to go around the room and say your most striking thing, good or bad, whichever part, athletics doesn't matter, that you want to share with the body. All right. Go ahead.
How do you want to start?
No.
Definitely the part of building operation. The fact that engineering is open 24/7 with the computer labs is really convenient. I feel like it'd be on the work side, it'd be better if we had something more set that in public policy that we're open 20% sort of working because the library is close at that point. So just have more spaces to be able to work on, especially when it comes to late night group projects because there are a lot of folks are close a lot.
I think this just grinds my gears. I just it's Deal Hall dining weekend food options. I just don't. That's just I'm gonna go.
The options?
Yeah, I got some contacts to put you with have that conversation. I'll send them to you.
Yeah, especially if we're trying to keep people on campus.
Late night was a big step, but
big.
All right.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you have something?
Student involvement clubs, etc. But best are the people who are involved, like small people that, the small population that is involved. They're involved, in everything. So you see several faces in several things like RSA, people involved in RSA level, full-fledged SGA members and stuff like that. So people who are involved. And for worst, I put that some people don't care enough to participate, which is why the campus is barren on weekends.
If I had to choose one, I would say that where to go to find resources, because I didn't know that engineering was open. That would have really saved me a lot of good. No resources, no.
Okay, let's split up. Yeah. I really enjoy group fitness. That's such a great thing. Such a great thing that we all do.
Has Brandon a cardio party every week?
So we don't have cardio party.
Yo, that was wild. You really think
Oh man, when he goes all in, you see this man doing stuff.
I think for dining, or one of the issues that I've heard is that cross-contamination issue with they'll be using the same gloves and grabbing different things or using the same pair of tongs to grab different things. And so for people that have dietary restrictions, that's the issue.
Yeah, just real quick. People always think that this is due when I first hear it, but I'm actually going to just throw this for a second. if we are not an academic, if we are not an athletic school, why, so tell me why, there is a statue of Truett in front of the RAC, which is the ugliest building on campus, and not in front of the library, we're an academic school. I'm serious. Why do we not have a nice statue of Truett in front of that library? I'm serious.
More statue of Truett.
I think that is a huge thing. Every day I walk past that library, and I step on Truett's face. In a little circle. And like, what is that? That does nothing for me. And I really rap maybe twice a week for class, maybe. And
There's class in the rest?
yeah. Like,
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
Yeah, it's your class.
Okay.
Why is that a thing? I don't understand that. I think it'd be such a huge thing if people like walk past Truett every day on the way to class. And like during finals, you walk in the RLC and Truett is right there.
You right?
It's like, come on, this is an academic school. That's my 2 cents.
Also, I thought something. It's not necessarily in front of the RAC, more over in front of the active building.
Oh.
I mean, he's facing the admin building, so he's in front of the RAC.
Follow up on this?
Huh?
Should we follow up on this?
On the statute? I think we could have a bigger conversation as a Senate as to if that's a tackable initiative.
Cool, I'm gonna fight for it.
Not one to steal a mascot from the school.
Alright, so along with what Jordan was saying, D Hall on the weekends needs to be open earlier. Alright, right currently, Saturdays and Sundays, D Hall opens at 10:30. And I have so many friends who are like, I wake up at like 8 a.m. in the morning, and I can't get food for 2.5 hours. You know? So I think it's ridiculous, and we need to get it pushed back to at least like 9:30. You know, it's just 2 days of the week.
I wonder if that's in their contract plan. I'll look into it and get back.
So my worst for feeling included or welcomed at UMBC was before I stepped foot on campus, and my financial aid advisor told me to go to community college and transfer because I was like, what are some scholarships? And he literally said, I have an email like, I'll show you, Candace. Like, you will not. And I was like, this advisor really just told me to go to community college. Oh no.
Granted, our office financially, it's like a small thing under the line.
So yeah.
Great.
Imagine walking to the financial aid and there's just a statue.
Okay, alright. We got you.
Like a dollar.
You don't need scholarships. Launch today.
I
don't know. Launch today.
UMBC scholarships launch today. I don't know what that is.
But it launched today.
Oh,
on the website.
Is that a new scholarship thing? Is it better than scholarship retriever? Because that was that was bad. That was bad. And I'm willing to have conversations about it. So, all right, great. So, okay, we're gonna go through this next week. But I encourage you, like this week, as you're walking through campus and you hear people talking to you, like when you hear people complaining about things, or you're having conversations with friends or noticing things, jot those things down on this list and bring it back. I know it's hard to think on the spot, but I promise you, as you're walking through this week, you'll find other things. So, and then we'll narrow it down and try to figure out what we're going to work on. So, really quickly, we want to go over shared governance committees and SGC reports, just so everybody's on the same page as those things get kicked up. So I'll talk about shared governance committees if you want to do SRCs. Is that cool? Can you do SRCs and I'll do shared governance committees?
I have other things for shared governance committees also.
Okay, cool.
If you want, I'll just
go after you. Cool. So shared governance committees. There's a form that you guys will be given to help supplement when you attend meetings. Just kind of like some guidance. That way people know what to be listening for. Hopefully you fill them out. We've had a historically pretty bad record of like keeping minutes for shared governance committees. So if you're able to take those, it's in the drive. So if you prefer to like type, you can bring your laptop to the meetings and type on it. I'll also have printed copies in my mailbox. So if you guys want to pick those up and take it to the meeting and then bring it back, and we'll figure out who can put that into like records or just taking a picture and uploading it to the drive or something. But those will help you guys with that. Make sure that you're attending your shared governance committees. It is an expectation of a senator that if you cannot, that you let us know. That way we can find somebody to potentially go in your place for that week, because that can happen. But we just don't want to. We want to avoid anybody not being able to be there. We want some type of student representative there. Brandon, what else did you have? And those will be my mailbox on Friday.
Right. So there are several shared governance committees that still have space available. Are we going to talk about SCB now? Is that a conversation for later? Or can I say that now?
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. So some of our partners that, campus partners that want representation include SCB, RS, and RSA.
I'm going to throw out Okamoka too.
Oh, yes, thank you. Oh my god, absolutely. And Okamoka. I think their meetings are still 8 a.m. on Tuesday.
So Okamoka, I actually, I need people to go to the management committee too. Brenda and I can't make it now because we both have class now.
Got it, okay.
So
what time is that one?
Throw that out in the universe. It is Wednesday from 1 till 2:30, I think. 1 to 2, sorry. 1 to 2, and it is once a month.
Can you tell us what Okamoka is?
Yeah, so Okamoka, OKA stands for the Office of Community Affairs. It started off as a project in an entrepreneurship class on campus. They have raised over $300,000 from businesses and different organizations on campus, including SGA as a funder. They have a location on Main Street, Arbutus, and they are going to do a full open in spring 19, and they're going to do a soft open looking towards November of this year. But Okamoka is kind of one of the things that's bridging the gap between Arbutus and UMBC and thinking about our connection with the community in general. So this management committee, they are pretty much think of this as our board seats at Funda's entrepreneurship, since we were such a large funder for this project. So we will be overseeing the decisions of what Okamoka is doing on this particular board, because there's another Okamoka board that is like their actual leadership, which we also have a seat at. So we have a lot of representation with Okamoka in different capacities, but we need to make sure that we're there.
Yeah. So if anybody would be interested in those, feel free to talk to me or Colin or Brandon or Brenda. We all serve during the summer, so we have a pretty good handle on what that looks like. I will say they're pretty, at least the one that Brandon and I attend, which is the 8 a.m. Tuesday one, pretty low risk for anybody who's like anticipating having to have a lot of knowledge. They're pretty set, they know what they need to do, but it is good to have student involvement there. That way you can sometimes like offer up your help or just be in the know, and you'll be reporting that back to the Senate. I can make some 8 a.m. meetings, but I do have class at 9, so depending on if I need to like get ready, it's like a gym class, so I have to like be ready to go like sweat my butt off. So yeah. Yeah, so 8 a.m. Tuesday, 1 to 2:30 Wednesday. Brandon or Colin, what time are you at SCB meetings?
They are, I'm not going to say because I don't remember exactly. I think, so SCB has like general body meetings once a month in UC, and that's like during 3 hour on Wednesday, but I don't remember which 3 hour or which Wednesday.
I put out the email today, I think.
They put an email up there?
For the general body meeting.
But that's not the more important one that we're at, and I will ask Mark Fergus.
Okay. So Liam, you're tentative on that?
Yeah, I was just giving the dates for both the SCB.
Yeah, so I think Lily mentioned it. No, Arian, I don't remember. Someone mentioned it earlier. It's really great when we, 22.5% of our overall budget goes to SCB, so it's really great when we can go to SCB events and support them and show them what's up. So I'm begging that when you go to events, please make sure that you're wearing your name badge so that some of the younger members of SCB can recognize you and put a name to a face. We got a lot of great feedback from SCB, from Campus Life, from Division of Student Affairs. for being really thankful and appreciative of how many Welcome Week events we were at. And honestly, I don't know if it's because we had more of a presence, I think that's part of it, but I also think that staff members and other people knew because people were like wearing some SGA regalia on the menu. So, yeah.
Cool. Can anybody make, so Liam is tentative for SEP meetings. Cool. How many SGCs do you have?
Two.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of, or attending those, what should I do?
Yeah. I'll go over that in 1 second. Can I just keep the 2 meetings? Cool. Can anybody make an 8 a.m. Tuesday meeting? No? Great. I think I can pull it. I might just have to leave early. What about 1 to 2:30 Wednesday? No. Okay. So figure it out. I can't make that. I think though with Okamoka, I will be looking for somebody to like start running meetings with me. Okamoka will be a continuing project over God knows how long for UMBC, the partnership. And as a graduating senior, I don't want to leave with all the knowledge of Okamoka and all the connections with Okamoka. So Stu and I will be asking people to just kind of like start going with me. If somebody can pull 8 a.m. 8 a.m. every week. Okay. Cool. Let Leslie know. Great.
And then other, so besides RSA, if anyone's already like active with Res Life or their community councils, undergraduate academic conduct is currently at 2 out of 4. If anyone wants to choose on that one. Currently, it's me and you. Okay, there.
That sounds familiar.
Right. And then,
Academic misconduct?
yeah, undergraduate academic conduct. So yeah, when my professor like, hey, person is
that. On the script, I
couldn't make it. I can't make the first meeting.
This is the first meeting?
Yeah, they rescheduled like they usually make them around by the time we all show.
Oh, that's sweet.
I'm also on number 2.
You are?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing more names than just us.
It was 4.
Yeah, I just couldn't make the first one.
Oh, sweet. Perfect.
That was one you can't share with these.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys don't share those meeting minutes.
Yeah.
And then if anyone can make, yeah. So athletics, landscape, and student dining are all at 1 to 1. And then
Student dining.
student dining's fine.
You
Yeah.
get that.
Student dining.
What's that?
That's the part.
Thumbs up.
We have the.
Yeah, I can pull it up. What's the other one while I'm finding this?
Let's get on besides student time.
Oh, sorry. Brandon. What's the other one besides student dining?
Landscape.
Okay.
And then athletics.
The student dining committee is only one. Are you still going?
So what?
The student dining. Okay.
Oh, I'm going.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I would say it's fine. 2 SGA reps are fine.
Yeah. And then athletics has 1, and landscape has 1.
So can I, for athletics, there needs to be like, if I had to prioritize SGCs for this upcoming year, athletics is like top 3. With everything going on with the RAC and everything kind of still being up in the air, there 100% has to be student voice on that committee, or I think we're going to get outcomes with the RAC that students aren't happy with.
We have 1.
1 to 2.
Yeah.
Great. Go for the second.
What are the times?
Yeah.
Also, most SGCs, with the exception of the undergraduate academic conduct committee, technically adhere by open meeting laws. So anyone can go to SGC meetings, you just might not have a formal vote.
Yeah, if you can send out the times for athletics and landscape, I might go on.
So I think what we can do, Brandon, if we can just compile an email of all the needs with all the times and stuff, and then we can send that out to you guys so that you can check your calendars. I know it's hard to like think right on the spot, so just for ease of everybody and to not run over. Yeah. As far as agencies go, so shared governance committees are different depending on what committee. Hey guys, thank you. So they're different depending on what you're attending, right? So academic undergraduate academic condo. Yeah, that one. So that's going to be much different than like student dining committee. So I would suggest that you go feel it out. You're really going to be listening for things such as like updates within that department, branch, whatever they're addressing. For example, the student dining committee, I listen for changes that are going to impact students around dining. Other things such as parking, changes to parking and how it's going to impact students. You really just want to be taking in as much information as you can. That's why the form is made as well. And as long as you're taking in as much information as you can, we'll discuss that as a Senate and kind of pinpoint what's important and what can wait till later or what is just kind of there and was talked about. Okay, SRCs, there's one, you should have all turned in your one on Thursday. There's another one coming up next Thursday. What is this Thursday? Next Thursday, cool. I sent out the Google invite, so that should be reminding you guys. And there's also a Slack reminder. So if you guys have questions with that, just let us know.
Is every other Thursday?
Bi-weekly, yeah. Try to be turning it in like after Senate meetings. That way, if work gets done, you can only just submit it once or go back and edit your response. But if you submit it on like a Sunday before a Senate meeting and something big happens, then we might miss out on that information. So just try to make it as current and as recent as possible. Other than that, Brandon, are you good?
A new link is sent out like every report, right?
Yes, so you're not just like updating your old one, you're going to be filling out a new one each time. Just to back on SGCs for 1 second. I should have, for the SGCs that you're currently sitting on, I should have sent an email introducing you to the chair or whoever the point of contact is, so please make sure that you're responding to them, introducing yourself, and trying to get a one-on-one and kind of like feel out what the committee's like, figure out what you're expected to be, what your expectations are, and what you're doing, what you plan on doing, so you can gear yourself up and figure out what other undergrads things are thinking about this.
Yeah.
So we attend the SGs, and what do we do with said information that we obtain from the meetings?
So you bring it back to the meeting and share out. So you share out within the body, and then hopefully we'll do better this year about like dispersing out to students one way or another. We should figure that out collaboratively on how we want to do that. Whether it's through like social media or if it's through a newsletter or something talking about like a radio show last year or something. So yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'm on the classroom committee, and we got back on that this year. And the main thing they're talking about is how, well, first of all, they blew your budget for this year, next year. But they did that because they were renovating lecture halls, and I have the notes there. I'll upload them to the drive. I took those that I used beforehand, and we have one. But the main thing is that they're improving classrooms by switching out the enamel whiteboards for like glass whiteboards. They're putting more desktop document cameras into buildings in ITE, and they're trying to, they fixed out a lot of classrooms in Sherman as well with new chairs. One thing they want from us as the undergraduates to find out is they're planning on what they're going to do for their next big task, which is going to be replacing the furniture in lecture halls. And they want to know which lecture hall they recommend starting out with, or like which ones students think are the most damaged or should be the priority for repair. So I'm going to work on a survey and send that off to you two.
And that's a Senate resolution.
So I'll update more when I find out more. But that's the big thing that they like before their next meeting, which is October 16th, I believe. Is just but yeah, just a general idea of what students think, like which lecture hall really needs to be refitted. This won't be like a whole top-down renovation. This is just the chairs or furniture. So that's up
Yeah, I'll start a folder in the shared drive about like uploaded notes for shared governance committees. So just upload them there, the picture or anything.
I'll create the form and resolution.
Yeah, send it through to us if you want, and then we can help you disperse it out. All right, are we good? Can we move on?
To talk about the leadership and peer evaluation.
We'll do it close to the end of the quarter. Okay, so into announcements, I have a few. This isn't an agenda item solely because it's not like ready to be presented, but senators will be expected to have 1 hour office hours. It's literally just an hour in the SGA office where you're showing face and you're being present in the office, having conversations, or even doing your own work there. So I'll be sending out a sign-out form. I don't think an hour is a ton to ask for. What's up?
An hour per week.
Yeah, so it's flexible. Like it's literally, you could be in there from 8 a.m. to like 9, 10 p.m. It just depends on when. I prefer to be in peak hours. That way people are actually seeing you and like you're helping students, you're talking to students. But of course, I'll send out a form. You can fill in your name and then I'll let you know if there's any issues with that type of anything. And there will be a sign-in sheet in my mailbox. Whenever you do office hours, I'll just insert your like, initial. That way I know you were there, because that will be factored into your SRC report as if you're attending office hours, so that's an expectation. What's up?
Are these like clocked ins or are these like scheduled hours?
These are scheduled. So everybody should have like a consistent time. Of course, like things come up, so if you can't make it like 1 week, just email and that'll be notified within like SRC reports and stuff. Also, there will be monthly meetings.
So who's going to be responsible for keeping track of office hours?
What do you mean?
Like, who's going to be keeping track of the hours? I guess like just a time sheet.
So yeah, I'll send out a thing. You guys are expected to put your name in, and then that'll be locked and just like put into a form where everybody knows.
Okay.
And then there will be like a semester graph where like you sign in for each date that you're expected to be there, and then I'll check that every week.
Okay, so you're going to be following up on it.
Yep. Monthly meeting. What's up? You're gonna.
What's the goal of office hours?
So Senate is a part of SGA. And sometimes we get a little lost in our own body of like not being a part of the bigger SGA. So you can do your own work in there, you can do homework in there. It's just kind of to show face and be more involved. That way we're not seen as like the disconnected branch, which has happened in the past. Okay. Cool. Monthly meeting sign-ups will also be sent out. Me and Brandon. We just want to be checking other people. Try to prevent people dropping for not feeling supported or not knowing what's happening. It's very low commitment, once a month, 30 minutes, lunch, coffee, something. So yeah. Who else has announcements? Anything cool happening? Somebody tell me something fun.
Well, that's what we're at.
Is that Tuesday?
That's in
Yeah, that's the stuff. There's no way we're going to
We're also no idea, like, to be honest with you, because I was talking to him for a while.
It was only sent to Sophie.
Yeah,
It was only sent to Sophie.
I get SGC stuff.
Okay, sure.
So I went to the IT steering committee meeting, and they talked a lot about, first of all, that they're doing a lot of new hiring because they have a new initiative toward data visualization and how they can use that to help students be that like plan their class schedule or figure out like the trends of how students are doing early so they can potentially switch their majors before they get too far in and then graduate on time. And then also that is the new My UMBC page. As you can see, like the home page is different and they're doing a couple new things. I got an inside look into how they're going to be doing the profile page, which they're going to be switching it up to have a bunch of boxes of individual things that students like to look at. So it'll be like, or a couple of things I have down is your degree track. So how you're doing your degree, your percentage, the class that you took, or the class that you're signed up for and registered for. Your grades, like your GPA will be in one box, your billing stuff, your financial aid, campus card, meal plan, etc. It'll all be in one place for you.
Has that already updated?
Huh?
Has that already updated? No. Is there more developments? Mine looks like that.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Okay. But there might be more developments, so yeah.
Well, some things they're still going to add is parking and potentially like library. Well, like, you know how they have the new parking permit system, which is
Show me my tickets. Yes. Show
Yeah.
me my tickets.
But yeah, another thing we're looking into creating is a registration guide. So essentially, that's where it helps you register for classes. So first of all, you can check to make sure that you're signed up for the degrees that you want, including like primary and secondary minors, or secondary majors and minors. Then scheduling the meeting with your advisor, reviewing all your courses, and then following through a meeting with your advisor and registering for classes. Another thing that we're looking at working on is a way for you to plan your courses through the semesters. So essentially, as you start your freshman, one problem they've been noticing is that students will come to UMBC and they won't graduate on time. It'll take them more than 4 years to graduate. So a tool they're looking at, to help students graduate on time is a planning system where it's an interactive guide and they can just plug in the courses that they need through all 4 years, and then make sure that they have their track planned out for graduating on time, essentially. As far as infrastructure, they replaced 171 computers in different buildings around campus. And yeah, that's about it.
Thank you.
Can we go into more detail on the library computer changes? Because we talked about that during our committee about how that happens to it. But I don't know if there's any more details on that.
So the library. So there was a piece on the library. So the library renewal plan?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I didn't really hear about much with computer updates in the library. But I know that there's this whole new plan for changing out the library between 2020 and 2029. And there's one of the big things that they talked about in the IT committee was a room that would be dedicated to like student initiatives, which would have something like a laser cutter and other tools that students can access to do projects that maybe like a project or other projects that they don't have the tools to be able to do. So there's like maybe a 3D printer would be in there as well, that students could use. So, and then as far as the like the renovation, they would be creating a plan around like 2020 to 2024. The construction would start in like 2026 and be done by 2029. So it's past all the times we're going to be here, but yeah.
Are you talking about a makerspace, basically?
Something like that.
Awesome.
Sorry, I don't have any updates on that computers.
Sure?
Yeah.
Good.
So I have a question for IT people though. On PeopleSoft, they do have like a thing where you can just plan out, like, you can plan your degree, or like what you're going to take in the next couple of years. Have they ever thought about like automatically or like kind of trying to integrate that when you first enroll in a major? Or like because like we have a 4-year degree plan already, so why not just integrate that into like these set out before you come to school? You know what I mean?
Well, the main issue with students when they're trying to graduate on time, or this is what the committee said, is that they know what they have to take, but that class turns out to not be offered in the semester that they want to take it. So because of that, then they have to pull over to another semester because that class wasn't offered. So one of the challenges there is they have to make sure that they have the courses planned for the specific semesters, and then be able to base their system on what's available at that time, so they can do that. But yeah, that is a good idea.
Yeah. Okay.
But what you're talking about does help complete the donut on your profile.
Yeah.
To add to that, they touched a little bit about it on my committee because they're looking at different software for PeopleSoft to like get proper classroom sizes to the proper classrooms.
They didn't touch on that at all.
Oh, they did in my committee.
Okay.
I was talking about like class size that are 50, like they'd actually be assigned to remember hold that. And talking about how they're still like exploring PeopleSoft because there's a lot of programs on there that they haven't really opened up and used yet. Because there's a lot of like Schedule 25 was like a big one that people were like using outside of there, and they didn't realize that PeopleSoft contains that. Like that's an option. So they're still like going through PeopleSoft to try and like get everything access. So that might be something that's coming in the near future. I don't know if they're still trying to explore everything, though, but they really haven't dug into what their
sophomores to patch the
Cool. Alright.
Also, cool thing about the registration thing that you were talking about, like with classes, in the very near future, it'll also be applicable to student organizations when they need to re-register at the end of the year. So there will be steps for updating org's constitutions, who the new org officers are, who the new advisor is, so the registration stuff and cover the money in the BC school.
Yes. Alright, any other announcements? Alright, any last words before we end this meeting? And go ahead and pass the gavel.
So I added to everyone's calendar a 15-minute meeting. There will be a 15-minute meeting or less weekly meeting on Fridays. They are literally just to kind of catch everybody on payroll up to speed on the same page, because there's Senate, there's Finance Board, then there's the Exec Branch. Let's just all get in the room for 10 minutes, like super quick. Like you're not going to be there for 15 minutes, just so that we all know what's up. So you don't have to be there for every single Friday. It'd be great if you were there every Friday. If you're not there, that's cool. Just make sure you talk to someone else about whatever we talk about. But.
Cool. Alright, so with that, we're going to adjourn this meeting at 7:39. We're going to pass the gavel. So, pass the gavel is those of you who are